muscle truck showdown. We've got my cheap lawn bed versus the FMT.
Oh yeah, it's all Ford fun, baby. Woo!
This episode is going to be kind of a throwback to the very earliest days of Roadkill Garage, where we had the premise of what can two guys do in one weekend in order to hop up a vehicle. So Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. And the vehicle we're going to do it on is this 1974 Ford F100. And we're just going to throw some parts at it to try and make it a little bit faster, a little bit more fun, and then we're going to do a shootout versus the original Roadkill Garage Ford muscle truck. Steve, here's your challenger to the crown of the FMT.
What do we have here, Freiberger? I mean, seriously, you're going to have to do a little bit of convincing here.
So it's a 74 F100, which by the way is key because it's a half-ton.
Yeah.
And it's a long bed, but the worst part about it is it has the 360 FE, but I don't care. This thing is grandpa fresh. It's really good. I mean, I've only driven it around the block once.
Okay.
It was $2 grand.
Okay, that's pretty good, but you'll have to do better. I want a point-by-point sales pitch on why this is our truck.
Okay. So I guess I got inspired by a bunch of Roadkill fans who I've met over the past couple years.
Yeah.
Who they can't afford the short bed, full-on muscle truck, the Goodyear, the big block, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so they're getting the long bed, sometimes rustier than this. This thing's mint. And they're just using it and having fun with it, even though it's not the cool guy thing. And so I'm gonna replicate that. We're gonna build it for dirt cheap, and we're gonna find out if it's as fun as the FMT. And I guarantee you,
no.
I will have as much fun as you are in the FMT.
I take that as kind of a challenge. You know, actually, this thing's kind of growing on me a little bit. I like the wheels with the poverty caps.
Yep, that was a selling point.
The hood rust is just adding that nice little custom flair.
I think this thing is actually gonna be pretty good. So let's hop in and go for our first cruise.
I've got to say, from the passenger seat, I approve of your truck, Freiberger.
Really?
Yes.
Thanks, man.
You don't even have to touch that shifter, man.
Not a
The
bit.
C6 does it all automatically.
And it doesn't smoke a bit.
You just bought yourself a brand new 1974 Ford truck for only $2,000.
Yep.
How does it feel?
Pretty great.
I can only imagine.
You want to know my actual fear?
No.
Is that we're gonna ruin it.
There's no way we're gonna ruin this. It can only get better.
So there's one big selling point on the truck that you've overlooked thus far.
I know it's not the custom headliner.
It is the custom headliner.
Oh, really?
Look at that.
Oh, no. It is sweet. I noticed it, but I just didn't say anything. That is a nice artwork.
This is where the science begins.
Oh,
Dulcich.
yes. I know.
Okay, so we're gonna be hopping up the engine on this thing.
Yes, we are.
So I need a baseline to decide the performance of the F100, and we haven't done this in a long time on the show, but we're gonna do the 4-pole acceleration run. We start here, and the finish line is 4 poles down, and that way when we hop the thing up later, we'll be able to time it and figure out what it is.
Well, do you know why it's 4 poles and not 5 poles or 3 poles?
Because the distance between the poles?
Yes, coincidentally, 4 poles is precisely 1/4 mile.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1, go. All right.
Here we go.
And
1 pole, 2 poles, and 3, and 4. What was it?
1980. I think you can improve upon that.
Okay.
So ready? 3, 2, 1, go. It rolled off pretty smooth though. Doesn't it feel like a ship now, but it's taking whoa.
Oh yeah, when we hop it up, this thing is gonna be a beast.
2. Oh yeah, this is gonna be way faster. 3.
Is it?
Shout out when I have to cut.
Now.
Oh, 1966.
Okay, so I guess we should take 3 or 4 and then average them, right?
Okay.
1980,
1966.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
That was off better that time, I think.
think it's going to be slower. 2, 3, come on, Pyle!
And
Go! 1979!
Okay. Okay, you could hardly call that an acceleration test. We ran the 4-pole and we got 3 in a row that were 1976, 1979, 1980. So that's pretty much our baseline.
Yeah, I call it 1980. I averaged it in my head by adding all the numbers and dividing by the number of runs.
So how would that end up with the highest number? It makes no sense, Dulcich.
My math might be a little compromised.
That's a little bit sketchy. I'm gonna pull it in the driveway and super clean it and degrease this engine so we can rip it apart. Here's where the whole what can 2 guys get done in 1 weekend part starts. This would be like Friday evening. It's about 4 o'clock. We're gonna start tearing into it. Now our plan here is to do nothing but add horsepower. And I put together a package of cam intake and headers that I think is gonna do that. And hopefully will actually work on this engine. The engine we're working on here in the truck is a 360 cubic inch Ford FE. Now there's a very unique design on the top end of this engine that we're going to be able to show you once we pull a valve cover off here and start getting into changing the intake manifold. Watch this, it's really weird. If I can get this valve cover off, this thing is on there. Now you can kind of see what I was talking about the top end design. Look, the intake manifold actually has valve cover rail on it. See the parting line right there? It's almost like it's the top half of the cylinder head. All of the push rods go through the intake manifold. And so to get the intake off, we have to remove the rocker shaft and all of the push rods, which we're gonna do because we're changing the camshaft anyway. But that's the funky design that is like the #1 way to look at an engine and go, that's a Ford FE. I'm about to pull the distributor out of this thing, and let me give you a tip that applies to FEs and Windsors and I think all the old school Fords that have the distributor up front. The bottom of the distributor drives the oil pump, and the oil pump drive shaft is supposed to have a little sleeve on it that prevents it from being pulled up with the distributor, because if it sticks in the bottom of the distributor and you pull it up, usually the push rod falls out right at the most inopportune moment and falls down into the oil pan. So you gotta be real careful of that. And once it's about that far up, I'm gonna feel it a little bit. Hope that that drive shaft is not stuck, and it is not.
Okay, bro, this is it.
Now I'm gonna pull all the push rods out. Well, they're a little bit stuck in the lifter. All right, Steve, I'm gonna need you to just go ahead and heave this out of there.
Okay. Relieve this very heavy intake manifold. Oh.
Wow, you actually broke it.
You know, when you lift that FE intake manifold and you heave it off the engine and you body slam it on the concrete floor, then you know you've got to fight.
For the first time ever, we're proceeding quickly. We're great at disassembly.
I know.
Man, we can tear stuff apart with the best of them. We have been shredding. And now, front cover. We got access to the timing chain, which we're gonna pull off. Then the camshaft comes out. Dulcich, this is a double roller chain in really good shape. You watch, this camshaft is probably gonna be an aftermarket one that's better than the one that I just bought. Because me. Okay, this is the oil slinger that goes on the crank to shoot oil away from the seal. This right here is Ford's pretty standard bolt-on fuel pump eccentric, which buzzes right off. This has got the 2-piecer. Sometimes they're a 1-piece. And now I should be able to get this off. Yes, boom, wow. This is like new. So this is what they call a double roller timing chain. Why? Well, look at it, it's kind of like a motorcycle chain, but it's got 2 rows, one here and one here. So that's the double. And then on each of the axles that goes through the chain, there is a little thing that rolls. So that's where the roller part of it comes in, double roller. And check this out. The dowel came out of the front of the camshaft with the gear.
It may not make it. There's this critical relationship, how far you have before the cam nose encounters the grill. But this thing's got to come straight out.
Is it gonna happen?
It hits the grill.
Oh, it's not gonna work.
It won't go past that last journal.
We gotta take the grill out.
Now that's gonna involve a lot of work that I don't want to do. If we get the mechanics to come in here, by morning, we could have finished a few beers, and hopefully that cam will be removed by morning. Let's go, Freiburger.
All our parts showed up this morning, so this is day 2. We got this whole thing ripped apart in like 2 hours last night, which was awesome. And now we're cleaning parts up, ready to put it back together. He's gonna perfect the valve cover in Dulcich style, and I'm gonna throw the cam in this thing.
We're gonna transform this 360 into something it was never intended to be. You could just see all of that smoke, that's lint, oil residue. Oh, yeah. I'm doing this all wrong.
Yeah, I know.
I only had 1 can of paint.
Oh.
That can be easily mistaken for a powder coat finish, but actually it's nothing but ordinary spray paint.
Imagine.
Wow.
We finished scraping up all the gaskets and everything, cleaning up the engine as much as we can, and now we're gonna start hopping it up. And the very first thing that I'm gonna do is the camshaft. Now, putting a hot camshaft in a stock engine is fraught with peril. There's a bunch of stuff that can go wrong. The first of which is valve to piston clearance. If you increase the duration of your cam or increase the lift or make it with a tighter lobe separation angle, all of those things make the valves come closer to the piston. So you really have to pay attention. Now on the 360, I honestly don't know what the piston looks like. I don't know if it's flat or has a big dish in it, but I'm pretty confident with the smog motor with low compression that I'm gonna be able to fit this stick in it. My research says that the stock lift on this thing is 430 thousandths, and that's with the stock 1.73 to 1 rocker arm. This comp cam, which is a 252H that I'm about to install, has 468 thousandths lift, so I think we're gonna be okay. The other thing you have to worry about on lift is the valve spring itself. If the lift is too much, the spring can stack up solid or not have enough travel to actually work. And the other thing is that the inside of the retainer can hit the top of the valve guide, and that can also limit what kind of lift that you can put in the thing. Now, the really smart thing to do is to change valve springs to match your camshaft and machine the top of your guides and make sure you have retainers that are gonna work. Do you think we're gonna do that? You've seen us before. Absolutely not. I picked this cam hoping that it'll actually work with the stock valve springs, and we're gonna find out if I got away with it. Once again, it's a comp hydraulic flat tappet. It's a 252H. The specs on this are a duration at 50 thousandths tappet lift of 206, 206. Now my research tells me the stock cam in this thing is 194 at 50, so we're not adding a whole lot. It's a lobe separation angle of 110, it's got 468 lift in it, so I'm about to install it and find out if I guessed right.
That's gonna go right in.
Woo! Okay.
That's butter.
That's butter, okay, good.
The racing cam in there. Okay, David Freiburger, I'm going to proceed at this point and install lifters. Just to make the engine look that much nicer, I think I want to fog the front of it with a nice coat of Ford blue paint. To make the masking really fast, sometimes aluminum foil is the answer. Wrap it around, boom, you're done.
All right, now we can tell people we have a rebuilt 390 in it when we go to sell it, right? That's what happens, I hear. Now I'm putting the harmonic balancer back on, and you saw that we pulled it off with a special tool. A lot of people don't realize there's also an installation tool. Even as butch as we sometimes do things, the last thing I ever do is put on the damper and then try and drive it onto the crank using the crank bolt. I've pulled threads out of the nose of cranks that way. Don't do it. You got to get one of these special installers, which just threads into the nose, and then you use this giant nut just to put that thing in. Okay. Ready for the intake manifold. I need to get this balanced perfectly.
It's going to take the perfect Freiburger drop.
Okay.
A very impressive Freiburger.
All right, bolts.
Let me bolt you, bro.
You didn't clean these up and paint them? This is hack. After we cleaned the whole front of the engine and everything, expected to use these bolts? Dulcich really doesn't have an appreciation for the pile. He knows that the FMT is just not gonna hold up. We completed the installation of our Edelbrock Performer RPM 4-barrel dual-plane intake manifold. Now we're moving on to the valve train. Here's where there's even more like potential fail when you're installing an aftermarket camshaft in your stock engine. So if you make a radical change on the camshaft, often they'll have a different size base circle, which means you need different length push rods. I intentionally chose a cam that isn't that radical of a change here, so hopefully the stock push rod lengths will work, especially because on the Ford FE, all of the rocker arms on each side of the engine pivot on the same shaft. They're non-adjustable. On something like a Chevy with an individual rocker arm on each stud, sometimes you can get away with just a little bit of change in the push rod length, but not on this one. So we're gonna cross our fingers once again and hope that I pick the right camshaft for the stock components. One of the greatest moments in installing a new engine or hopping one up is the carburetor. The carburetor we're using here is actually really unusual for us, but we tested it on an episode of Engine Masters and we're blown away actually with how good it was out of the box. This is a Summit brand carburetor. In truth, it's an old Holley design. It even uses Holley needles and seats and some other parts, power valves, things like that. This is a 750 vacuum secondary. They call it a Summit M2008 carburetor. This one is remanufactured, and it's the cheapest one that we could get. It's currently $265 at Summit. The problem with them is we've now tried it on 3 different intake manifolds, and this pot right here hits the manifold and prevents the carburetor from bolting down. So you pretty much have to use it with a spacer. I've got this 1-inch open spacer right here, which is actually one of those infinitely variable designs where you can get a 4-hole insert for it. I don't really recommend it. So there's our spacer, which would add to performance if the FE actually revved to any kind of reasonable RPM. And carburetor. Now I'm gonna bolt that down, force Dulcich to solve the fuel line, and we're almost ready to fire this thing up once I get the distributor in. Ooh.
A lot of times when you're working with non-stock carburetors or manifolds and you're modifying things, you'll find that the stock linkage just won't work because the pickup point might change and you might need to go longer or shorter on links, higher or lower. It just depends. You have to study what's going on and then make the adjustments as necessary. Often you can just do simple modifications and make the linkage pieces you have work. So what I'm gonna do is just cut the original rod and lengthen it by the amount that I think is required. Now, I've got the transmission end hooked up, and over here, it just slips on this pin, which is already set up for Ford. So with the arrangement I have here, I can adjust it shorter, or I can turn it the other way and make it longer. What you want, I guess, to start with is no extra play. That seems about right there. And to lock it off, I've got a handy lock nut at the other end. Boom. It's in.
Ready? Yay! We're behind schedule, but we finally got this thing running. Over the past few minutes, 15 or 20 minutes, we finalized the timing on the thing, tuned on the carburetor a little bit, made sure it was actually gonna run, and started to break in the cam. This is something that's really important with a flat tappet camshaft. 5-10 years ago, there was a big problem with people ruining flat tappets right on initial fire up.
Well, I don't know if it was the people's fault or bad lifters and bad lubricants.
That's the thing, but in the past, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, we've had excellent luck breaking in cams. We use Molly Lube on them, a lot of oil. We pour some Lucas zinc additive into the oil and fire it up and get the thing running. To break in the cam, you want to run it for about 20 minutes, varying the RPM so the oil's splashing around. But the other thing is, frankly, with this, those valve springs are like wet noodles, and I don't think they could wear out a camshaft if they tried.
No.
But we also know that I got away with the cam specs. So far, valves are not hitting pistons, and the valve springs are not locking up, at least at the RPM that we've run it at so far.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like the retainers are hitting the guides either. So,
exactly.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
So I'm going to fire it up. We're going to run the thing for maybe another 10 minutes, breaking in the camshaft. We'll have to open some doors so we don't die, and then I think we're ready to put an air cleaner on, slam the hood, and go back to the 4-pole.
Okay.
We didn't get headers installed.
I think it'll still be better. With that little cam, the header matters less. But
he's trying to make me feel better about the fact that we ran out of time to put headers on.
Oh, well. Next time.
Ready?
Fire this thing up.
All indicators say this engine is pretty nice. Okay, Steve, we're back at the 4-pole. You called our average 1980. I'm going to call it 1978.
I think that's more accurate.
Now I'm ready to race.
All right, Freiberger, you ready to give me a 17-second handle?
Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1, go! (1906).
Might have been in the launch.
Yeah. Freiberger, I've been wrenching on this thing all weekend with you, and I still haven't even had a chance to try it out.
You want to be a pile driver?
Yes.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. It's a good leave.
Oh, yeah.
That was solid. Yeah, you way short shifted. And boom, 1957.
No!
I'm telling you, it's the difference between two different times.
Oh.
All right, let's go again. 3, 2, 1, go. You did kind of jump it just a little bit.
I don't think so.
I'll give it to you.
One. That was a perfectly timed shift.
That's pretty good.
2. I'll call it out. You have to press stop.
Okay.
3. 4.
1905. That's within the range. You did something like that. All right. It is what it is. It's consistent. Well, I'm glad we got our test drive in right there at the end of the day, and we proved that it's 0.8 quicker in the 4-pole than it was before, so it is making more power. We were able to solve an oil leak that Steve's doing right now, a little bit of stuff like that. Our concern is this thing runs really bad at idle. I'm pretty sure that it's got a burned exhaust valve. Don't you think?
Yeah, it probably could use a valve job.
It probably could, but it actually runs really good at RPM. I'm going to fiddle with it a little bit, and I think the best news of the night is he is starting to turn and actually fall in love with the pile. But you won't have the final answer till we shoot it out with the FMT tomorrow in the parking lot at Famoso.
That's really not going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be a bloodbath.
I got nothing. Here we go. The FMT is on the scene at Auto Club Famoso Raceway, where we're going to be doing a showdown of the pile versus the FMT.
I just love these shootout episodes.
That's because you're going to dominate.
How do you know? The pile is actually really good.
But what we got here is bump side versus dent side, long bed versus short bed, and worst of all, 360 versus
460.
100 cubic inches in a much better engine. So I know I'm going to lose here. The question is, how much fun am I going to have anyway?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
I know I will.
It's going to be a riot.
Yeah.
I think we should probably reveal to the audience finally why we call this the Pile, spelled P-Y-L-E. It's because of Denver Pile, who plays Uncle Jesse on Dukes of Hazzard, who drove a truck just like this, except for it was all white. And the interesting thing is, did you notice in the early seasons, it was actually a short bed half ton.
Yep.
And then it became a long bed 3/4 ton.
Yeah.
So I figure that this truck right here is the perfect blend of both because it's a long bed half ton. So it's the Pile, as we're about to prove. So I guess I'm going to hit the autocross first, and then we'll have Steve, and then I think we're also going to have a drag race, and then the obligatory burnout shot, of which I might as well just sit aside.
I'm going to be a gentleman here and wish you luck, my friend.
Right. right. You gonna ride with me?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
I'm ready. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go! Oh, that was a good launch. Okay, we've got the slalom.
See, I'm gonna beat you with
the
superior
slalom.
driving skills.
Whoa!
It's gonna have nothing to do with the actual vehicle.
Now this is gonna be a tight turn, and right out of this chute, there's another chute right here. You're a little wide.
No way.
Oh, wow.
I'm set up
Now,
for this one. What do you mean I'm a little wide?
Tight S. Actually, you're tracking it pretty nicely, Freiberger. Okay, this is the big sweeper. Oh, the pile. All right, back into the slalom the other way. Uh, 49.81.
Okay, should we go again?
Okay, you think you can beat that?
Oh yeah.
Go! Hey, you're just flinging this thing around like a sports roadster.
I always try and tell people any car is fun. You just gotta drive it right.
You're just punishing those tires, Freiberger. You can really drive a slow car fast, Freiberger. Oh man, this is gonna be the best! That was 45.50.
Man, I just keep knocking time down. Okay, I'm gonna let you go now, and I will only go again if you beat my number.
Sounds fair enough. If you watch a lot of Roadkill Garage, you definitely know the Ford muscle truck. Now, we bought this truck out of a classified. Why? Because I saw it and I just had to have it. In fact, my old man had a truck just like this when I was a little kid, so it's got a little bit of sentimental value. The Ford has a big block 385 series 460 engine. It has the C6 transmission. It has a 9-inch with a true track and a 3.0 gear that we built and put in it. All around, this is probably the most used vehicle I've got because every time I turn the key, it starts. Anything I demand of it, it does.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
That was a carb backfire.
Yep. Oh, plowing. The suspension seems even softer on the FMT.
Oh, you got Saginaw steering and I got Ford steering.
Oh, that's right. That might be part of it. Okay. Oh, yeah, you got this. Here comes the... Oh, understeer sidewall. All right. Stop. Okay, well, your first run was better than my first run. Your number was 46.06.
Oh, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Go. This seems smoother. Ah, plowing though. Oversteer, missing the whole track. Ah, disaster. You just hit another cone.
I didn't hit that cone.
Yes,
that
you
cone
did.
was already.
Ah! Okay.
I've got you, bro. I've got you. Oh, that was bad. I had you. This last slalom is gonna kill me.
Good recovery there. Good tank slapper. 48. Oh,
Did I
man.
win?
That was fun, but totally ridiculous.
I must have won.
Let's go to the audience on that. So clearly the pile was faster. He could not beat my time by half a second or more.
It was a split-second difference between the two trucks.
A split half a second.
second.
You're right. You split that second exactly in half, and that's what it was.
It was only a split-second difference.
You're right.
And you have Saginaw steering, and I've got that ridiculous Ford Ram steering with the. That's my.
These are excuses. Once again, let's go to the audience. They get to decide this. So the pile long bed is faster, but this thing clearly is more violent. And a lot of that is because, you know, the steering's much slower and you're a hack and just all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm good with that, bro.
Moving on to drag race. We're actually at Famoso Drag Strip, but we're using the parking lot and we're gonna duplicate the 4-pole race just like we do back home. Steve agreed to give me 1 full truck length and the go. What that means is as soon as I leave, he's gonna go. He's still gonna beat me. Uh-oh, I got the jump. He's passing right by me. Oh, he's toying with me. He's totally toying with me. He was playing chicken, just keeping right with me. It's so unfair. Maybe you should give me 2.
What do you mean? I barely got you. I'll give you 2.
2, he's gonna give me 2. All right, here we go again. Can I beat him with 2 cars?
I think it took almost 3. That is just greedy.
There we go.
I beat you again!
Maybe I need 3. So dumb. Oh, and he still beats me. He's literally just toying with me. All right, that might have proven the point. The 360 cannot outrun the 460 in any circumstance. You know, in the end, I have to admit, there's certain things that you are not gonna do with your Smogger 360. And that is killer burnouts like you can do with a 460 big block. But you know what? That costs a lot of money. And meanwhile, this is still a nice, cheap, feel-good truck. I really have nothing bad to say about it at this point, other than I'm not getting any good burnout action out of the long bed. I'm gonna go do some smoky burnouts. Let's go, Dawson.
Okay, brother.
I can't believe the pile is so good.
Okay, so we have to explain to the audience, we're dying laughing here because our truck is now named The Pile, spelled P-Y-L-E.
Just had ridiculous fits of laughter over that.
Let's get The Pile.
Pile. Freiburger, this thing's a pile.
It's also hilarious because it fits.